You're listening to Bizarre Buffet, a podcast of all-you-can-eat weird. I'm your host, Mark Torriello.
I'm Jen Wilson.
And I'm Mark Bluestein.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
When we first went in, one of the people said, "Who are you?" And Tex said, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
I just ate some placenta.
Oh my god, I had some too.
I'm so full.
I'm wearing a placenta jacket for those of you who aren't watching.
I just used some baby foreskin under my eyes to get rid of the bags.
Oh my god, I read that that's actually a thing.
Yeah, that's a very great company called Le Maire.
Le Maire.
Cher uses it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Cher.
Today's topic, I'll say this. It's older than Cher.
Oh. And she's like a fossil.
She's got to be like in her late 70s, early 80s now. Let's look this up right now.
Yeah, let's pull it
I'm gonna
up.
see, how old is Cher? Cher is 77 years old.
Good for you, Cher. We love you.
If I could turn back time.
And I don't know why this reminded me, but I just wanted to shout out because we're all from New Jersey. There is a Whitney Houston rest stop now.
Yes, there is.
Yes. R.I.P. Whitney.
I want to dance with somebody.
I want to dance with somebody at your rest stop.
Apparently, they play
Just
Whitney
not Bobby
Houston
Brown.
there.
They should.
have
Who's
it on
not
loop.
Bobby
So, okay, so when you go over the bridge on the Parkway, when
Yeah.
you're like in the shore area, the first rest stop is now called Bon Jovi.
Right.
So for a while, there was this like fucking cube in the middle of the rest stop that had a hologram Bon Jovi in it.
No
way.
Stop it. Really?
Talking
my
about
God.
New Jersey.
No.
Jesus Christ.
And Jerry and I are always like, well, that's where everyone's tax money is going, to that fucking hologram.
Hologram Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
Holo
Talking about New
Jovi.
Jersey.
Do you think they have a hologram Whitney doing like crack?
Oh, I hope
feel-
so.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But if it's gonna be anything like Bon Jovi, because I think there's even some Bon Jovi memorabilia in the rest stop, I'm sure that there will be Whitney Houston memorabilia in there too.
I hope so.
Let's all just go make a trip to the Whitney Houston rest stop.
I know.
We'll post it on Bizarre
Yeah.
Buffet.
I know that on the Parkway they're starting to do it based off of like, I'm pretty sure they're doing the rest stops based off of like the areas that like everybody is from.
That
so
makes-
Whitney Houston's is closer to Newark because that's where she's from.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Bon Jovi is
Like down the shore.
down the shore, and then Bruce Springsteen's like the last one
Yeah.
by Atlantic City.
Brucey.
Bruce.
Bruce.
I hope they do one for Bizarre Buffet. And we'll make sure that all the stalls in the men's room have glory holes.
Glory hole.
So Mark, what are we doing tonight?
Well, I guess we'll just get into it. The question I'm going to start off with is, and this is because of recent events in the news and things that have been happening this summer.
Titanic.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are we doing a Titanic episode?
Are we doing another Titanic episode?
Kind of, yeah.
Violet Jessup Part 2?
So I'm going to ask you guys this because, all right, cat's out bag. This is going to be a Titanic themed episode.
Okay.
We all know what happened with Ocean Gate. We don't really need to like
No,
revisit
can we
it.
not harp on that,
We're
please?
not.
I know,
We all
really.
know like the
It's an
billionaires went
old-
down.
old hat.
It's old hat now, right? But I want to ask you guys, if you guys could go down and see the Titanic, would you do it?
Absolutely fucking not.
No.
I'm sorry. Like, no. Anything that has to do with being enclosed and then underwater, no thank you.
Nope.
Yeah, I agree. Anything enclosed underwater, and also, too, not for nothing,
I'll watch
but...
video footage.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Same.
Exactly.
Same.
We watched like 2 documentaries
Yeah, exactly.
about after like that fucking SS dumpster dive sank
Yep.
and exploded or imploded, and like they were way more informative than anything that fucking Ocean Gate bullshit would have provided.
I'm sorry, but like I know we're not gonna harp on this, but like who in their right mind would go into something
Preach, sister.
that was like operated by a Nintendo game controller?
Preach. Go off, Queen.
No.
Yeah.
And then on top of it all,
Yeah.
you're in this vessel and can't physically see the actual Titanic.
Yup.
You're watching it on a fucking video screen. So you're
Yep.
spending millions of dollars to
Yep.
go into this shit that's not even safe,
No.
that's controlled by a Nintendo game controller,
And
and you
there's-
can't even see it.
And apparently
Yep.
there was no guarantee that you would be able to actually get down there because there was a lot of attempts where they had to bring
Yep.
it back up. So
Yep.
there was like a 20% chance.
Go
you'd
off,
make
Jen
it to the
Wilson.
And one more
Titanic.
thing.
Go off.
I do genuinely feel really bad for the young boy
Yes.
who
Yeah.
died. Like, he kind of was guilted into it because it was Father's Day and his father really wanted
Yeah.
to go. And he was terrified. He
Yeah.
was scared.
He was guilt tripped into it, which is another toxic family trait.
That was my rant.
I love it, and I appreciated
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you for ranting.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so for this episode, we're going to take a deep dive to the Titanic and raise her big ol' ass
Oh,
up, because there have been several very bizarre attempts since 1914
Oh.
to literally raise the Titanic.
yes,
Really?
raise hashtag
Yes,
raise
yeah.
the fucking Titanic.
The Titanic.
I knew there was one. I didn't know there were
I
many.
didn't know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this episode, I'm going to discuss the different attempts and motives to raise the sunken ship, because each one kind of gets a little more and more bizarre.
Oh, this is fascinating.
So, to all those folks out there who don't know what the story of the Titanic is,
Oh my God! Really?
Really? I know.
Yeah, do we have to recap the Titanic?
here's
Go watch the Christopher Nolan
just watch
movie
the damn movie,
starring
but-
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Kate Winslet and
here's the
Billy
Wikipedia.
Zane.
Here's the Wikipedia blurb.
Yeah, do a quick
RMS
rundown.
Titanic was a British passenger liner operated by White Star Line that
Property.
sank in the North Atlantic Ocean on April 15th, 1912, after striking an iceberg during her maiden voyage.
Iceberg road ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And it was going from like England to New York City. Also, it was estimated that 2,224 passengers and crew were abroad.
Smell ice, can ya?
And
Bleeding Christ.
More than 1,500 of them died, making it the deadliest sinking of a single ship in that time. And it still
Yes.
remains one of the deadliest like ocean liner sinkings ever.
Work,
And
queen.
The disaster obviously drew public attention, provided foundational material for disaster films. So let's talk about the first attempt. Attempt number 1. It's called the Family Conservatorium. I had to Google what the word conservatorium meant.
I don't
Tell us
know
what
what that.
conservatorium is.
Conservatorium means it's an association, typically of several business companies. That's what a conservatorium is.
Oh,
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
okay. I thought it was going
I
to
thought it was
be.
going to be something a little more in depth.
Yeah,
Me
me
too.
too.
So, since the Titanic carried some of the wealthiest people in the world, families were clearly outraged over the sinking. Oh, the gall,
Yeah.
right? Some of these very affluent passengers that died were John Jacob Astor. who
Hey,
was-
JJ.
He was one of like the richest men in the world. We have Benjamin Guggenheim.
Oh, Benny.
And the streetcar mandate George Dunton Widener. So a few months after the tragedy of the Titanic sinking, the families of these 3 very rich men formed a conservatorium and partnered up with a wrecking company to help raise the ship so they could recover the dead bodies of these 3 wealthy men and reclaim their belongings. I guess
What could they
That's
have?
the only reason why they wanted to raise the Titanic?
Yeah, just to get their bodies
Just to
and
get these
belongings.
3 individuals' bodies.
Yeah.
What could they have possibly have had on them that was so like what the deed to Macy's?
Yeah.
Like, did you think you were going to become the heir to like a railroad by raising these fucking skeletons? Skeletons.
I guess they wanted to like bring them back home.
Oh, give me a
that
fucking
are
break.
But it's like the ocean.
Oh, how
So-
lame.
The
So
heart of
now-
the ocean.
This is like during 1912 when this was like transpiring. So let's be real here. Number 1, they obviously don't even know the severity of the wreckage and how deep the ship actually is.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
like they didn't have rulers back then.
Yeah.
They didn't know any like
Yeah.
how deep it was. So it's currently 2023 and we don't even have reliable technology
No,
to
we just have a
safely
Campbell
navigate.
soup can that gets controlled by a Nintendo game controller.
Absolutely. With the, you have to charge
That
it.
doesn't even have windows and just has a computer screen.
Safe to say that the plan went nowhere because of the lack of technology or the ability to even like locate the ship, right? So in order to raise it, you gotta find it.
Yeah, that seems important.
The idea was to drop dynamite onto the wreckage, make it explode, right? Ultimately blowing it up. That
Right.
way the bodies of the 3 dead men, among many
But
others.
you don't know where these dead men were actually
Yeah,
located, so how would you
exactly.
drop this dynamite? Oh, I'm just gonna assume that they're right there, and I'm gonna just dump it in.
Thank you.
Well, we're
Exactly.
using, billionaire logic. 'Cause
Yeah.
clearly they have none.
Yeah, but also it's very like American asshole logic. Like, yeah, let's drop dynamite on something at the ocean floor of the Atlantic, and let's see if we can find fucking Guggenheim and eat his ass. Like, what?
Yep. And they were thinking that was gonna dislodge the bodies. The plan was abandoned when scientists told the families that the bodies would have been pulverized by the pressure.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
Wow, wow.
Surprise,
So
surprise.
rest assured, they didn't raise the Titanic without attempt.
Oh my god.
Here's attempt number 2.
Shocking.
Attempt number 2 happened 2 years later. It's called the electromagnets and balloons.
Oh my god.
So here we go. They get better. I promise you.
Electromagnetics and balloons, you said?
Yep.
Sounds
Jesus Christ.
sounds great.
So 2 years after the sinking of the Titanic, it's now 1914, and an architect from Denver, Colorado, proposed the idea of raising the Titanic with electromagnets. This would be done by trawling the area where the ship sank. They would use magnets to kind of identify the ship, and when the magnets would latch on, they would be like, okay, it's caught onto the steel hull, we found the ship, now we're going to raise it. So after that step,
With what kind of equipment?
Magnets,
Balloons?
apparently.
I guess
Balloons and magnets.
hope and prayer.
Yeah.
So after that, they would put more magnets, enough for the magnets to latch on, and they could bring the ship up out of the water.
With magnets and balloons.
Yes, and then balloons would come into place because they theorized that by attaching balloons to the magnets, it would bring the ship up to the surface.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
fascinating.
obviously this didn't transpire because it was too expensive to make this happen, and then the planning stages came to a halt. All right, attempt number 3, the Titanic Salvage Company. So we're going a little forward now from the 10s, and we are in the 1960s. And
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Douglas Woolley, who is an underwear factory worker, came up with the idea of floating the Titanic back up to the surface using gas-filled balloons.
More balloons.
They love their balloons. So Woolley was able to secure funding for this idea, and he set up his very own Titanic Salvage Company with the goal of bringing the ship back to Liverpool and turning it into a museum on the water. So he was trying to capitalize here. Now, during the planning process, the scheme was abandoned when no one could figure out how to really fill the ship with balloons,
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
especially because it was so deep.
Yeah.
Far
so
down.
Oh my
deep
God.
down in there.
All right, here's attempt number 4. It's the Vaseline and balls.
Vaseline and,
What?
and balls.
Yeah.
What the fuck
What
are
kind of
these
balls?
fucking
Sounds like a
people
hot
doing?
Day for me.
Sounds like
So-
one of Scott's videos.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Insert video art here.
Yes.
I'm sorry, insert episode art here.
Yes.
This attempt now takes place in the 1970s, and it was proposed that filling the Titanic with various substances and objects would force it to float, specifically to fill the ship up with 180 tons of Vaseline and thousands of ping pong balls and pressure-resistant glass balls. Now, I have no idea how they would be able to accomplish this, but this idea obviously didn't happen.
Now, here's my thing, though. Okay.
Tell us.
Here's Jen Wilson's hot take.
I need it.
When you get all the way to the bottom of the ocean, doesn't the current get even stronger?
Yes.
Yes,
So
it
you're
does.
dropping these balls, these magnets, in this ocean. They're not gonna just go directly down. They're gonna start to drift.
Yeah. They
Right?
will.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a bunch of bullshit is what it is.
Billionaire mentality.
That's it. It is billionaire mentality. It's a bunch of fucking malarkey.
And a big part of the reason why this idea was scrapped was because it was estimated that it would cost $240 million to make that many balls.
$240
$1 million.
Wow, that wouldn't have worked.
Nope.
No.
So here is the last two. Attempt number 5. Astral projection. No, just kidding. I wish.
I wish it was. And maybe that'll be attempt number 6. But continue.
Yeah.
So attempt number 5, I call it an iceberg can sink it, so an iceberg can raise it.
Oh, come on.
All right, so this one came from a haulage contractor by the name of Arthur Hickney, who was from, I guess, the West Midlands. He proposed that you can encase the Titanic in ice, which would actually make it float up to the surface like an iceberg. Once the ship would float to the surface while being encased in ice, they would be able to melt the ice, freeing the ship. So his whole philosophy was, if an iceberg could sink it, why can't it raise it?
Okay. And how does one put an ice cube around the Titanic?
Well, this didn't come to fruition because it was calculated that they would need 500 tons of liquid nitrogen to be pumped around the area where the Titanic
Where
remained
exactly? Here's a question. Where exactly is the sunken ship located? Like, it's like off of Nova Scotia, right?
Kind of. It's like up there.
Yeah.
Like, I would say like Massachusetts. If you like went off the coast of Massachusetts and kept going straight into the middle of the ocean.
Okay. Because wasn't that the other thing too? They were like kind of going like up when they like took the Titanic. They thought it was going to be quicker or something.
Yeah.
Beat the world record. It like essentially they went like up out of their way to come down and around.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
Here is the last attempt.
Astral projection.
Astral projection, take 6.
Telekinesis.
Yeah.
So, attempt number 6, a monkey.
Oh, God.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So, this one, it's like a little confusing even for me to kind of understand when I did my research, but let's just talk about this one. So, it's the early 1980s, and this guy who is a Texas oil baron, his name is Jack Grimm. He wanted to locate and raise the ship. Now, he's led other expeditions in the past that were unsuccessful. Some of these expeditions were finding the Loch Ness Monster, locating Bigfoot, and also locating Noah's Ark.
Oh, great.
Oh, great. So he sounds real reputable.
Yeah.
Super grim.
Yeah. So he had some rich friends that he would play poker with. He was able to get some money together and employ 2 highly respected oceanographers as help.
And one of them being a monkey.
One of them was a monkey. Yeah, so this guy, Jack Grimm, he employed like these 2 oceanographers. They kind of helped create and utilize like this deep ocean scanner to locate the wreck.
Okay.
To much surprise, Jack Grimm also decided to employ a 3rd member to this party for the Titanic search, and it was a monkey by the name of Titan.
Titan the
What?
Titanic
Titan.
razor.
Like the submarine.
Yeah. So the monkey was trained to point out the location of the remains on a map?
How?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I would have to do a deeper dive with that, but I didn't want this to be like a 3-hour long
Oh,
episode.
that's okay. We don't do that here at
So-
Bizarre Buffet.
I'm assuming that they were going to send the monkey down in like a submarine or submersible to help
Okay.
locate the ship. And Grimm did make 3 attempts to locate the Titanic, and he came very close, but he failed.
Really?
He did not actually locate the
But
Titanic.
he almost got
He
it.
came close. It was like that game of Battleship.
That's so cute.
Like close but no cigar. But I don't think the monkey went down in a thing. Like I don't think they sent.
Oh, so
a
it
monkey.
wasn't the monkey who almost did it?
I don't know. I just know a monkey was involved. The Titanic wasn't actually discovered until 1985 by Professor Rover Ballard, and after his discovery, all of the dreams of raising the Titanic came to an end.
I would think so.
Because if you wonder what raising the Titanic would look like, by the way,
Impossible.
it's impossible. But there's a movie from 1980 called Raise the Titanic. And
Yes,
it's
there is.
terrible.
Insert artwork.
It's terrible and it's fascinating. It's an awful movie, but they do show you the Titanic raising
Yeah.
to the surface of the ocean in this 1980 film.
Yeah, by cinema magic.
Yes.
And they probably hadn't even discovered the Titanic at that point.
Probably not.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, the Titanic only has allegedly like 15 years left. 10 years left before it completely collapses
Well,
because
somebody better get on it.
Yeah.
it's being eaten by bacteria.
Well,
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like another thing about Ocean Gate, you go down there, the fucking submarine is going to be getting eaten by the fucking bacteria.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like it's literally getting eaten away by the bacteria.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't get me started on this because it makes me so mad.
I know. Why would anyone want to go down there?
I think the wreckage is absolutely frightening.
It is.
It is.
It's scary.
Absolutely frightening. It really is just like
Yeah.
very eerie.
I don't know. If I had the money to splurge to do something really out there, it would not be going in a tin can that's controlled by a Nintendo game controller.
I agree, honey. No.
Just go to the Titanic exhibition at the Luxor, like Mark and I did.
Yeah.
in Las Vegas.
Honestly.
And to end this episode, I think it is so fascinating that this big ship disaster 1912 happened. It killed a lot of people,
Yeah.
some rich people. And
A
now
lot of
fast
poor,
forward,
a lot of rich.
yeah, and now let's fast forward to
Today.
2023. The ship is still taking lives.
Oh,
Seriously.
good for you,
She's
RMS
still
Titanic.
taking lives. I think that's just so weird.
I think it's cursed.
is.
It's probably fucking cursed.
I think so.
Leave
Honestly,
them alone.
that's what I think. I think it's the Titanic does not want to be fucking disturbed.
Yeah, I agree. I
Let
agree.
the old rusty gal go.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just wants to sleep. Just like the Mary Cemetery episode, insert episode artwork here.
Yes.
When I go, I don't want anyone bothering me.
No.
No.
I just want to sleep.
We want to sleep and be left the fuck
Exactly.
alone. For Christ's sake. But yeah, I mean, this was a great episode.
It was, Mark.
And
I mean,
yeah.
you really got me going though on this one.
oh, I know. I love
got
it
me
though.
heated. You got
this
me
is it.
heated.
We were both heated. I get it.
Oh my god.
I love it. This is what makes a passionate topic.
It
though.
is. It's a really good topic.
Yeah, because we want to go in and dismantle this bullshit Titanic Titan exhibition.
Leave her alone. Leave her the fuck alone. Don't touch her. Don't go
Exactly.
down and try to see her.
Leave her alone.
Just let her sleep.
She's hungry for life and she will take it.
yes.
No.
But anyway, until next time, I am the founder of Ocean Gate.
And I am Titan the monkey.
And I am the rich mom from Titanic. I'm Rose's mom from Titanic.
Oh, she was such a bitch.
She was such a bitch.
That.
She got off the boat, didn't she?
She did.
It's been 87 years.